In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing 3 different Shopify stores and comparing a $1,000 store, a $100,000 store, and a store that does millions of dollars per month, and breaking down exactly what the key differences are that allows them to increase their conversion rate and get more sales online with their e-commerce business. That way you can take note and see exactly what you need to do to evolve your store to be able to get more conversions and sales at scale whenever you're running Facebook ads, TikTok ads, or even Google ads. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Shay Chappell and I work with some of the largest brands and creators in the world that you definitely know and love. So let's get into this video. So the first Shopify store we're going to be reviewing is Smooth Air, and they're selling a supplement in the turmeric space. And we're on their product page right now because they actually don't have a home page. And one of the first things I would recommend for them is to definitely have a home where you can break down more information about the business, educate people, show off some things. And the other thing that I started to notice was they have a free shipping banner. Free shipping banners are great to call out free shipping, so that way people know that once they actually buy the product, they can immediately check out because they're receiving their order without having to pay any additional cost. And then they have a limited 20% off sale, as we can see here. Their menu is quite big. I would actually make their logo much smaller and reduce some of the padding up here. And as we scroll down, there's not very many menu options. So you only have contact us, shop. They definitely need an about us page, a home page, and they only have one product image. If you have one product image, that is not enough to really convey the value of what your product is. Beyond just the actual label, you want to have features and benefits, before and afters, showcasing the ingredients, really highlighting the product in at least 5 to 8 images here. They do have reviews, and they have this bundle app, which is very nice because you can buy multiple and save a discount and even get a free joint support gummies. But you can't actually find that product on their website, which is very bizarre. You definitely want to make sure to show where that other product page is so people can check it out. They then don't have any drop downs or details or ingredients about their product. They're literally just showing you exactly what the product is, and that's about it. And then they have a little bit of text here, and then it immediately goes into their reviews. And then they have a generic stock image here, and they have a little bit of information about the benefits. This could be more visualized in a more compelling way. And then they have a simple headline and a buy now button. There's no footer links, no logo, there's one policy, there's not much else. Doesn't tell us shipping information other than maybe you can track your order afterwards. It makes sense that this store would only be doing $1,000 at most. And even when you add to cart, it takes you direct to checkout, which is fine, but there's a lot more things you could do between upsells, adding in additional products, breaking down the product page. So let's go ahead and look at what a store starts to become once they're doing 100K. And here's an example of one, and they have really nice packaging, very vibrant and colorful. This is Omni, and this is a creatine supplement. I like how they have their homepage structured. They have their products on the right. They have a holiday offer, which is more relevant. They have a simple menu that is very consolidated, so everything shows up first. They have their reviews, a headline, a description. This could actually be switched to like 3 bullet points. That's what I'd recommend. And then they have a strong call to action, try now. And then they have some benefits and icons here. This is actually a really great format for a store that's looking to increase conversions because it's very direct. You can see the product imagery and you can see the call to action. The only thing I would change on this banner image is rather than using like this brownish gray light color, I would use a softer color from their product. So that way it really pops and brings out the branding. So that way it'll be more memorable. And then rather than having this sliding scale for formulated by doctors, third-party tested, made in the USA. Those are good call outs. I would replace this with either the offer or a scrolling banner of either logos of places they've been featured in or shipping information and special deals to call out here. Then as we scroll down, they have some intrigued by the benefits, which is their reviews. They have some key call outs. They definitely need more imagery here. This is very basic, so what this brand does better than the other one is actually bring in more icons and visuals, but they don't have like enough product imagery or lifestyle shots. It's really just basic graphics, which is much better than the store before, but there's still a lot you could do to take your store to the next level. I do like this section. I would still change the background here and make it more branded and more palatable. I would use an app like Coolers where you can actually pick out the colors and use this color as a background. Like this blue would look much better back here, and it would look much better back here. It would make everything stand out a lot more effectively. And then they have another review from a formulated medical professional. So this is authenticity and credibility, which definitely helps with driving more conversions. And then they have some information about no chemicals and toxins. They have some ingredients and showcasing behind the text. I'd probably remove this and show it in a better visual. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is great. They have FAQs. I would use a different background color. They have reviews. I would have a review app that actually showcases icon images and even photos that people can upload of the product. And then their menu is a lot more filled out, which is much better. I would include making sure that, it doesn't look so techy, because this looks more like a software down here. So I'd probably make it more D2C and fit in with some of their other branding. And as you come back up and we hit try now, we can then go to the product page. And as you can see, they have a lot of vibrant images, but their website doesn't really fit in the vibrancy space, meaning that they're using weird colors in the background, like hard grays, and it doesn't really flow super nicely. It has this tech feel, even though they're showcasing some of this bright blue. If you have really cool branding on your product, you should have that run throughout your site. Make the site a lot more engaging and a lot more bright and fun, because that's really going to allow people to remember your brand a lot more effectively. Especially if you have a simple, cool logo like this, then it's going to be much easier for people to remember you. The other thing is they have these square images, which is good for calling out some of these benefits. But if you're gonna say enhanced energy boost, enhance your strength, you should have lines being drawn to specific parts of the person, and that just really connects the visual to the benefits. And then this text below, I'd probably simplify this into either one line or a couple bullet points so people can quickly scan. This is nicely done here. I would include more icons and even have another image on the right hand side so it fully takes up the entire space on the site to maximize the overall product page. And then they have some icons here. So they have the product. I wouldn't cover up the text of the product here. This is really good, but this shouldn't be covered. So this calls out the key flavor. They have 3 bullet points: free personalized workout plan, free shipping, 30-day money-back guarantee. Those are all great call outs. Having 3 bullet points is absolutely awesome. And then 20% off. That is also great. They have these little icons for their product flavors, which is a great way to visualize it. Now, it is sold out on these 2 flavors. I would have an opt-in box to be able to capture emails. That would definitely help them improve, their ROI whenever they release these flavors again. And they should be able to swap to the other product flavor whenever they click on this. You should have watermelon branded assets show up here. And then once we go to the next product imagery, it doesn't necessarily flow. They've done a good job of calling out a specific authority where he's mentioning their product. They've done a good job of saying try now, but it looks like they're just using templates that are not necessarily branded. So like this ad copy is very different from their logo or their actual text up here. There's a lot of different fonts going on here. You could really fix how all of this flows together and make it a much more curated experience and easier to read. But when you have different text almost everywhere, like even this pricing is very bizarre, how they have it here and then showing it again here, and then having a button that says try now. It looks more like an ad than it does a product image. And then even here, whenever we look at some of their reviews from the comments they've screenshotted, it looks more like they typed these themselves, which can actually scare people away because comments don't actually look like this underneath a video. They're usually all the same font and the same size. So this is a little bizarre, but I do like where they were going with this. But they're not really leveraging their brand to their full potential with how they have these gradients. It looks like they haven't really discovered how to structure it. Now, this image does fit in line with their brand, as you can see, and they should have used this palette throughout their entire product imagery here. So when you have a website that looks like this, they kind of know all the key compelling parts to include. Like they know they need the features and benefits. They know they need authoritative speakers. They know they need icons. They know they need to describe their product and show ingredients and flavors. So they understand that part, but how they curated it together isn't necessarily structured in the right way. Although they put the right information there, it's just not presented in the most effective way to really allow a brand like this to jump up to those $1 million months and scale consistently. Because the way this is going to be interpreted, it kind of just looks like it was thrown all on there because they knew they needed it, but they didn't know how or where to put it in the right places. And then we go to this again, and they have more, try now buttons. They have a good review here, which is nicely broken down. But I would showcase the ingredients more. I would clean up all the images here. They do have more images, so when you look at a page like this is a big jump, and it makes sense as to why a brand would start to produce more revenue. And then as we go down here, they have the how to use, they have the drop downs, which is always a great thing to have. You want to be able to call out this information and really make it easy for somebody to find that info. And then they have bundle and save. I would actually even opt for doing a structure similar to how this site had it right here, because that can actually make it very effective. And they have 60 days, 90 days. This is very well presented. I like how they did this. 100% money back guarantee. This is a really good structure right here. And then they have that same information and breakdown. But what I find interesting is, although they have this, if I click on their menu, they have home, learn science. They don't even have a shop button, which is very strange for a website. If you're selling a product, they're probably running ads directly to this page, but they're missing out on people who navigate through websites naturally. So you want to have your shop all button, even the categories for each product. And when I'm on the home page, the very first section right here should actually be their products. You should break down your best sellers, and you should show each product line item here so people can directly buy. And the other thing is, when I click get started, they do have a slide and drawer cart, which is nice. They have a subscribe and save offer, which is great. I would actually show just the key product here rather than this crazy image of everything. I would just have the simple product shot to keep it very focused so people know what they're buying. Whenever I went to their menu and I click on Learn Science, I actually love how they've broken down a lot of this information. This is much more compelling to me. There's better visuals here. Like, they did a great job executing on this page, but it's very unlikely that a lot of people navigate to this one, right? So like, all this information is very good, but they could actually just include that here on their product page. So they have a little bit of that information, but they should really do a better job of bringing all of those science facts onto this page as well, and having a strong landing page for their product. But all in all, not a bad store. Definitely has a lot of the key points here. They just need a better way of structuring it. And what does that look like? Well, here's a store that's doing $1 million months, and they've been able to actually take all of that type of information and present it in the most effective way possible. So let's break it down. This site is called Neuro, and they sell energy mints. So it's caffeinated mints or gum that you can have, and they're on TikTok Shop. I love how they're calling out that they're newly arrived on TikTok Shop, because that's very trendy, and anybody who visits their homepage, that's going to be exciting because people might think they can get a special offer and go there to even buy. Now, one thing that does seem a little weird how they have this structured, although the product image is in a very clear spot, you can see the text, you can see everything. I would take this text, make it the actual TikTok color for their branding, and even make the new arrivals black. I'd make it much smaller and move it over here into this right section. And then I would have a button right here with a strong call to action, because it would just make the site flow a little bit better on their homepage. But that is just a minor thing that could be quickly fixed. As we scroll down, they have a good menu. They have the free shipping with an icon. You can see how over time, like, this person just has free shipping all caps, and then this person has an emoji pointing to an offer plus free shipping. And then you can see how everything gets more consolidated, and now even the icon kind of flows with the branding and it's much more simplified. So you can see over time, sites, even with minor changes, can end up structuring things in a little bit better of a way. And then we have a scrolling banner. So rather than it going extremely fast, like on Omni, this one's much more slow. So you can actually read what is happening. And then it's fading in and out rather than just like overwhelming you and you getting lost in the process. And they have Fast Company, the New Yorker. This is from credible people calling out why they love their product. And then when we go down here, we have Activate Your Sleep, which is some of their, or Activate Your Calm, or Activate Your Memory. These are all their products, which is their shop all. And you can actually make these images using AI now. You don't even have to do product shots like this anymore, which is pretty crazy to think about. You could use a tool like Photo Room to literally design these exact images. And I'll link below a lot of the tools that these websites use below so you can use them as well. And when I hover over the image, I can actually see some more details. They have icons, their Shop Now buttons are present. It's very visual. And then we have the slump, the zone, the jitters, so we can get an idea of how their product works, right? So if you crash after having coffee or you get jitters from the coffee, well, now theirs is more focused in the zone, less of a crash, less jitters. Then they have Our Story, which is connecting the personal aspect of this back to the actual brand. Everything flows very nicely. This kind of bleeds into the next section. There's a science, and you see how the text isn't being covered by the imagery. The imagery is always out of the area of the actual text, but it's blended together. So whereas something like this, you know, you kind of have the product separated and it's more like a drag and drop in their case. Whereas here, this is actually more designed for a flow where you have the text and the imagery bleeding into one another. It makes the experience much better and people can get the details they need without having to look left, look right. It's kind of just all there and you can take it in at once. And then they have reviews, and they actually show real people using the product, which is a very key component here. Rather than just putting the text, they actually show somebody holding it. That's a big factor here. And then they have all the information you need. A lot of people forget to put the shop in their footer. This stuff makes a big difference when you're scaling over time. Now let's go to their product page. So here we are, we have gum mints, and then we have some that are sold out, and as you can see, notify me when you're available. Last store didn't have it, this store did. And when we look at this, very clear, concise branded imagery. What the last store lacked was how to blend all of the branding. So they use the same blues that they have on their product. This is a very soft color palette. They have a stark contrast in the back to really pop and make the product stand out. You can see that these are gum mints. So a lot of times people forget to even show, like if it's creatine, show if it's a powder, show if it's a gummy, show if it's a mint. People need to know exactly how to consume it or what it is. And then they have their study here, which we have a much stronger branded color that they used from this palette. They have a lighter color in the background. Everything really stands out, without neuro, with neuro. And then we have all the ingredients blended in. So rather than putting their ingredients in little icons, which is okay, but they've actually blended all this together, which is much more nice whenever you look at the image. And we have a clear and concise product image, and very simple. We have the features and benefits, we have the drop downs, we have the flavors, which I like how they showcase the little icon. We have the subscribe and save. And then we even have the drawer cart, which has upsells. Upsells are super important for increasing AOVs. And as you can see, here's another product, a lot more imagery. Look at this. They have lifestyle. They have the product ingredients, the packaging, so people can actually read it. Why neuro? And so here they are breaking down all of the ingredients. It's all well branded. They use the bright colors. They have everything popped. They have the great visuals. So them, neuro. So this is actually a much more visualized chart compared to, creatine is safe or not just for bodybuilders. They're actually showcasing it and validating it by research. And then they have the product on the left, and they have frequently asked questions by category. And then you may also like some more branded content and icons. And then they have the reviews visualized and even broken down by category, which makes it a much easier process for people to make a decision when they're buying. And then they have their branded social feeds at the bottom here. So all in all, very great product landing page. And whenever we do shop, we can actually see energy and focus, sleep and recharge, memory and focus. These are broken down by visualized categories. We have new, we have learn, about us, the science, blog. So this is all more visually compelling. So the big difference in a website that does really high volume is they use consistent text. Everything really brands in nicely, right? We have the same branding across the board. They know how to blend their product image, their ingredients. They know how to blend the visuals into the text so that way it flows much more nicely. And you can demonstrate a lot more information in a shorter amount of time by doing this. They have very concise and know when to make things, a softer color. They know how to hint towards where your eyes need to go. Rather than doing 3 bullet points going down, they did it across, which means they take up less space and they can put in more information. They have bestseller, best value, right? So you can even see you can do bundles here compared to a store like this that has them very big and the add to cart gets moved down. Well, they actually have them across, allow you to incorporate more information on the first load, which is a very important factor whenever you want to convert more people. The more information you can consolidate in one place, the faster you're going to get conversions because more information is available on first look. And then they have additional upsells before the cart, they have them in the cart, and they have them even after the cart. They're selling people every step of the stage because whenever you pay $50 to get somebody to go to your website and get them to purchase, well, you might be at a losing ROAS, whereas here, they get on a subscription, they end up adding $5.99, they end up buying a bigger pack, they end up adding another product in cart, they end up buying something after purchase, and before you know it, they're averaging 3 to 5x ROAS on their ads because of all the little tactics that they used along the way. And so you can really see how the branding stands out. And whenever you see this blue with this product, you're going to more than likely remember it. Whereas something like this, you can very quickly remember somewhat of the product, but you'll start to forget what the brand is because it kind of gets lost in the process. They had a good opportunity of bringing the life to their product page, but they just haven't gotten there yet like Neuro has. And these are stages you can go through, but if you know the information in advance, you might as well start implementing it now. There's a lot of cool AI tools you can use. You can use Canva to do this, and make sure to keep your fonts consistent. Consolidate your menus, bring in the visuals into your product pages, and understand the science behind a lot of stuff and why this actually works and why you should structure your landing pages this way. This is what allows stores to go from a 1% to a 3% to a 5% conversion rate and make all the ROI back because they're able to convert more. Even when I scroll, I still have the chance to add to cart. There's little stuff like that that makes a big impact. Whenever I look at mobile, it looks just the same. So everything's still structured in a great way. Everything's consolidated, very simple to read, and I can go through and get everything I need. When I look at the other, mobile product pages, this one's not too bad, but it's very text heavy. You see a lot of text on this one. It's just text, text, text. Where this is a lot more visualized, right? There's probably just as much text here, but it's just structured in a different way. So it breathes more and you get more information along the way because they know how to visualize it at the same time. So it doesn't feel as text heavy. Whereas something like this can be overbearing and people can get lost in the process. They might not read all this stuff and then they leave. And then a page like this, it's gonna be very hard to get conversions at all because there's pretty much no branding. Nobody's gonna really remember a brand like this. And this is just gonna be a direct buy if somebody just wants turmeric and they don't really even care about which company they're buying it from. This could work, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to, over time, go from something that looks like this to something that's getting closer, and then eventually where you nailed it and you actually have a high converting product landing page. Now, if you want to get a better landing page on Shopify, you can go to surge.com, you can get a free homepage audit, and we'll literally break down an audit of everything your website needs. So that way you can go from a before that looks like this to an after that looks like this and actually guide you along the way. And if you really want to take things to the next level and just have us completely knock this out for you, you can book a demo call and literally get all this done for a one-time fee, which is actually extremely affordable compared to any other websites you would have out there. And if you are looking to increase your conversion rate and work directly with us one-on-one, where we'll show you how to set up your Facebook ads, your TikTok ads, and really scale up to those multiple 100K months and even get all the way to $1 million a month potentially, if you have the inventory to handle that volume and you're able to make these adjustments, then definitely make sure to book a call below and speak with our team. And once again, it's your favorite digital marketer here, Chase Chappell. Cheers and bye all.